Think you can get away with a heist and no one would notice? From insane entries to not realizing the owner they messed with, these jewelry thieves learned the hard way that the cameras are always watching. Window shopping. A jewelry store in Montreal became a target, as three decided to drive an SUV right into the front of the building. Forget window shopping, they went for a full-on demolition derby. Armed with sledgehammers, they proceed to smash cases, making a mess and leaving a customer in a state of shock. But the owner wasn't having it and decided to confront these guys with everything he had. The chaos resulted in one of the staff members trapped under the rubble and barely making it out of the ordeal alive. They managed to get away with thousands of dollars in gold, but not without leaving the SUV and one of their faces behind. Bravest owner. Three armed robbers decided a downtown LA jewelry store was the place to be, and they didn't exactly send an RSVP. They started by beating down the security guard, making sure everyone knew they meant business. The owner, however, had other plans. This guy was running on pure adrenaline, casually pushing away a gun that was pointed right at his face. He later admitted he didn't remember doing half the things he did. While one robber was manhandling the guard, the other two were busy yelling at employees and trying to get to the safe. The owner managed to chase them around the store, so things weren't exactly easy for them, yet. They got away with a $500,000 haul, but thankfully, all the people there ended up being totally safe. Supermarket spree. Three guys in hoodies decided a Houston supermarket was the perfect place for a little midday shopping spree, specifically for gold. With a hammer and a complete disregard for daylight, they went to town on a jewelry display case, grabbing as much gold as they could stuff into their pockets. The owner, however, wasn't about to just let them walk away with his hard-earned inventory. He tried to chase after them and threw things at them. The whole thing was over in 30 seconds, leaving the owner in shock. He moved from Mexico to the US to give his family a better life and ended up getting $20,000 worth of gold stolen from him. With insurance not covering the losses, he's left to build right back up from scratch, all on his own. Bold burglary duo. In Orange County, a pair casually strolled into a jewelry store while the owner was working behind the counter and coerced him into bringing out his jewelry collection. One kept him distracted while the other stuffed 84 rings into his underwear. The owner didn't realize a box was missing until closing. He went through the footage and couldn't believe what he saw. He said he's never seen anything like it, calling it an invasion of properties. The Brazen thieves got away with over $100,000, leaving the owner to wonder where it all went wrong. $1 million heist. Posing as customers, three robbers waltzed into a South Nashville jewelry store. Within 5 minutes, they had two employees at gunpoint and were stuffing nearly $2 million in gold and jewelry into bags. While one held the employees in the back, the other two made a quick sweep, grabbing everything they could. Two suspects were caught in a Miami Beach sting operation, and a wig and some cash were recovered. However, the third guy is still at large. This robbery was quick, but not quick enough to avoid getting caught. Unbreakable windows. Three masked thugs, hammers in tow, thought they had a foolproof plan. They tried to smash the main windows of a store, but the windows didn't even break, just cracked. The owner wasn't having it. He grabbed an axe and charged to the front, yelling at them. Turns out the windows were unbreakable. They left empty-handed. The owner believes one of the guys tried to sell him a scooter earlier that week. Maybe they should stick to sales, not smash and grabs. Leave nothing behind. A crew of thieves stormed into a Denver jewelry store, guns blazing. While one pretended to shop, three others forced their way in, holding customers at gunpoint. Employees fled, and some got hit with guns. Then, 4 more goons showed up through the back. They ransacked the place in minutes, stealing everything they could get their hands on. The family is shaken, but they managed to get almost all of the faces on camera, so they are hopeful that justice will prevail. Strength in numbers. 20 people decided to have a shopping spree, but not the kind most stores appreciate. They swarmed a Sunnyvale jewelry store, smashing cases with hammers and grabbing whatever they could. Police arrived to find the store in a state of dismay, and the suspects were gone. The getaway was a mess, involving multiple vehicles and police chases into the peninsula. Suspects were throwing out jewelry as they fled. High-fiving heist. These thieves took elaborate to a new level. They cut through the wall of a neighboring business to access the West Hollywood jewelry store and spent hours using blowtorches to crack the safes. They worked in shifts to get all the jewelry. The whole thing took over 24 hours. After all that, they celebrated with high fives on camera. The alarm system failed, leaving the owners with a huge loss after 40 years of work. They lost everything, but they are not giving up. Smash and grab professionals. 5 masked suspects turned a York Mall into a chaotic scene. Using hammers, they smashed display cases in a jewelry store. Employees thought they heard gunshots at first. It was that loud. One employee was pushed around, but others just stood by and filmed. While police arrived within minutes, the professionals had already fled in a getaway car. A brave bystander captured their escape. This is the second time this mall has been targeted in less than a year. And while there are several videos of these people, the vehicle was recovered, but the suspects managed to get away unscathed. Wrong store. A would-be thief broke into an Omaha jewelry store late at night, thinking he'd found an easy target. He was wrong. The owner, a former goldsmith and a veteran, was working late, and he was armed. Seeing the break-in on his security cameras, he grabbed his gun and went to confront the guy. He didn't sneak up, but made sure the thief knew he was there. One look at the gun, and that was all it took. The would-be thief, who was about to grab the store's most valuable pieces, quickly gave up. Military training for the win. 2-minute mayhem. A Sunnyvale jewelry store became a target for 20 thieves. They smashed through the doors, ransacked the display cases, and grabbed armfuls of jewelry in just over 2 minutes. The employees fled as the chaos unfolded. The group left in multiple vehicles, but 5 suspects were eventually caught after police chases and a freeway foot pursuit. But the other 15 managed to get away. Not so innocent women. These women seem innocent at a store to get piercings done and be there for each other for support as they do. But that's not what's actually going on. The woman getting the piercing is the distraction, while the one in orange is the mastermind behind it all. She covers the entire area with her body, while the girls behind her grab all of the cash from the counter and pocket it without the owner ever knowing what happened. Christmas Grinches. A pair of thieves in Auburn decided to skip the holiday shopping and go straight to stealing. Using a toddler as a distraction, they made off with $10,000 in gold jewelry in just 40 seconds. The woman, with the toddler on her shoulders, created a diversion while the man used a screwdriver to lift the glass and grab the loot. The owner, disgusted by the use of a child, offered a $500 reward for any information on them. While police arrested the woman, the man and the stolen jewelry were never found. Not staged. 3 masked thieves took a sledgehammer to a Park Avenue jewelry store in the middle of the night. They smashed through the doors, then went to work on the display cases, grabbing everything they could stuff into their sacks. The whole thing was over in minutes, and they got away with over $500,000 in merchandise. They fled in a getaway car, leaving behind a ransacked store and a hefty loss. Organized chaos. 8 armed criminals turned a Denver jewelry store into a nightmare. They stole over $2.5 million in merchandise, while the owner and her niece were fighting for their lives. The whole thing happened in just 3 minutes. The men, all Hispanic and in their 20s, seemed to know exactly what they were doing, even using earpieces. One suspect posed as a customer before the others stormed in with guns. The owner and store manager had to rush to save her children, who were in the store at the time. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured, but the emotional toll of this would last a really long time. Daylight heist. 8 armed suspects stormed into an Oakland Chinatown jewelry store in broad daylight. The owner and her mother ducked for cover as the thieves smashed every display case. Then, her 76-year-old husband came in with a gun and scared them away. In under a minute, they had taken 85–90% of the store's merchandise. The store had let their insurance lapse, leaving them with nothing. The family is devastated, but the owners are determined to stay open and not let fear win. Chatty thieves. In India, 4 women were caught on CCTV stealing a tray of earrings from a jewelry shop. While some kept the owner distracted in conversation, others grabbed the earrings. After stalling briefly, the group suddenly got up and ran off with the stolen items, like it was just another day out in the market. Unique fashion choices. In Tampa, Florida, 2 thieves used sledgehammers to smash jewelry display cases in a daring midday robbery at West Shore Plaza Mall. One suspect shattered the cases, while the other used pepper spray to hold off employees and mall security using pepper spray. Both wore bright yellow and orange outfits with ski masks under wide-brimmed hats. They knew it would be the perfect way to completely hide from the cameras. They fled in a silver Chevy Malibu with stolen jewelry. The car is the only identifier the cops have to work with, yet they've been on the run ever since. No ankles are safe. In Raniganj, West Bengal, a massive jewelry heist took an unexpected turn because of a police officer's bravery. CCTV footage captures him, exchanging gunfire with a 7-member gang, shielding himself behind an electric pole. Chaos unfolded from the start, as one thief rolled his ankle during the getaway. Over 20 shots were fired, forcing the robbers to flee and leave behind half their loot. Towards the end, another robber slipped badly, likely injuring his thigh and back. So, even if they hadn't walked away with the jewelry, they walked away with enough injuries to remember this day forever. A little too late. A brazen late-night heist at a Santa Monica jewelry store had everyone shocked. The thief smashed through the front door, walked around the store at fairly slow speeds, and stuffed $4,000 worth of necklaces into his hoodie before bolting out of there. It's the second smash and grab the stores faced this year, despite a police kiosk nearby. Masked robbery. In a shocking broad daylight heist, 4 armed robbers disguised in scary masks stormed DeHaab Jewelry in Winchester Plaza. The suspects stole $500,000 worth of jewelry in just 2 minutes, holding employees at gunpoint. Despite the trauma, owner Islam Abdulmajed reopened the store within 24 hours, now with armed security on site. They fooled him once, but he won't let that happen again. Sleight of hand. A clever robbery took place at a jewelry shop in India, where a thief skillfully swiped gold jewelry from the box and concealed it in his pocket. Working with a partner, the 2 used distraction tactics to confuse the clerk, allowing them to grab the loot unnoticed. Their coordinated effort made it nearly impossible for the store staff to catch on until it was too late. Coordinated duo. At Lucknow's Lulu Mall, 2 women pulled off a slick gold theft. One woman appeared uninterested as she stood still, while her partner tried on several bangles, distracting the employee with each new request. Once the attention was elsewhere, the first woman subtly slid a bangle into her hand. Without even shifting her stance, she hid it effortlessly, all while maintaining the illusion of, "I'm so bored, get me out of here." Escalated and then descalted quickly. In broad daylight, a violent smash and grab robbery unfolded at a jewelry store in Markville Mall, Ontario. Around noon, a group of 8 to 9 masked robbers, armed with hammers and crowbars, viciously broke windows and seized jewelry. The whole incident was captured on video as mall workers and shoppers looked on. After fleeing in a white Honda Civic, the suspects crashed into another car, forcing them to run on foot. Police quickly apprehended 4 suspects, who were seen running from the scene, while 2 others were found hiding in a nearby washroom. 2 got away, but it doesn't seem like they can stay hidden for too long. Citizen's arrest. In Ottawa, a store owner made a bold decision to stop a robbery at his eyewear store, despite police warnings against taking matters into his own hands. 4 suspects walked in and began taking items off the shelves. The store owner, Annie George, confronted one of the thieves after seeing them pocketing expensive sunglasses. The situation escalated when George apprehended one suspect with the help of others, while 3 accomplices managed to escape with stolen goods. This marks the 5th robbery at the store, which has been targeted by the same group of individuals. Not my purse. In India, a group of armed robbers stormed a jewelry store, but the situation quickly turned violent when the owner, Pramod Potter, fired back in the back of the store in self-defense. Freaking out, one of the robbers ran out to the front of the store, grabbed one customer's bag and all the smaller jewelry items he could carry before storming out of there faster than they came in. Kudos to the one woman who still managed to get her purse off the counter as all of this was happening. Afternoon grab and go. In a wild midday heist captured on camera, thieves armed with sledgehammers stormed into the Lux Bond and Green jewelry store in Westport. The shocking robbery unfolded just after 3 p.m., a fairly busy hour, as the criminals swiftly smashed open display cases, grabbing jewelry with ease. The thieves made their escape in a black BMW, leaving the scene in a rush, and everyone who saw the footage was shocked. Delivery? No, a pickup. 3 men armed with knives looted a jewelry shop in India. Around 1:30 p.m., a masked man entered the store and casually looked at jewelry. As the employee attended to him, a second man burst in, climbed over the counter, and began attacking the employee with a knife. The ruthless attack escalated as the robbers forced the store's employees to comply, taking 150 grams of gold in the process. It was later found that these were food delivery guys, but they couldn't be traced. Thankfully, the employee had only suffered minor injuries and ended up being okay, just a little shaken up. The last straw. This store has been robbed once more, and after 3 decades in business, the owners have had enough. Surveillance footage caught 2 thieves arriving in a gray car. The first man, wearing sunglasses and a hat, entered and asked about chains. Moments later, his accomplice in a hoodie joined, and together, they swiftly snatched chains from the counter before fleeing the scene. The workers inside were left in fear, with one of them injured in the altercation, unsure if the robber had a weapon. Just months earlier, the store had been targeted during a burglary where tens of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry was stolen. Now, after repeated losses, the owners have decided to close the store for good. Criminal Cinderella. In a dramatic turn of events at MSM Jewelry in Oakland, a clerk turned the tables on 2 armed robbers, firing back during a violent shootout. It was around 10 a.m. when 2 masked men approached the store. Upon noticing their rapid movements, the clerk, sensing a robbery, grabbed his handgun and fired first. The robbers, armed with large-capacity illegal handguns, returned fire, engaging in a back-and-forth shootout for approximately 20 seconds. One robber was hit, leaving behind a shoe in his hurried escape, embodying a criminal Cinderella, while his getaway car struck him as he fled. The shop was left riddled with bullet holes, but the clerk vowed to protect the store if the robbers ever tried to return. Botched getaway. 5 suspects traveling in a stolen vehicle poured into a jewelry store near Danforth and Polpa in Toronto, wearing masks and armed with hammers and pepper spray. Surveillance footage captured them smashing glass display cases and fleeing with stolen jewelry. Toronto police quickly located some of the suspects nearby, initiating a foot chase. Authorities recovered the stolen vehicle, jewelry, and pepper spray, and, well, as organized as this robbery was, they clearly didn't work on their getaway plan. Owner's nightmare. 2 men, armed with guns, entered Kings and Queens of Jewelry in the Bronx and attacked a 74-year-old employee. Surveillance footage shows one suspect assaulting the elderly worker, who sustained minor injuries, while the other jumped over the counter to steal nearly $100,000 worth of jewelry. The thieves fled the scene quickly. The store's owner suspects that the suspects had previously scouted the shop, noting that the stolen pad contained heavy chains and pendants. The owner said that this was the first time his store had been robbed, and hopefully, the last. Suspicious from the start. A robbery at Doucette Jewelry in Place d'Orléans Mall began when a man walked into the store and asked the manager, Catherine, to show me your most expensive gold chain. She refused and asked him to leave. However, moments later, the suspect returned with another accomplice, both wearing dark clothing. One suspect jumped over the counter and grabbed Catherine, demanding the keys to the display cases. In a panic, she hit the alarm and managed to escape, locking herself and a coworker in a back office. Within seconds, the thieves began their brazen smash and grab, using hammers to shatter display cases. They took multiple gold chains and diamonds before fleeing. The entire heist lasted just 2 minutes, with eyes and cameras pointed at them throughout. Though there were surprisingly no injuries, the stolen inventory's value is substantial. Way past Halloween. 3 armed robbers wearing Halloween masks targeted stores in Bridgeview, Illinois, first in the summer and again a few months later. Armed with an assault rifle and a hammer, they held employees at gunpoint and stole valuable items. The suspects used aggressive tactics, quickly overpowering the store staff before fleeing the scene. Surveillance footage from the stores helped police track their movements. And after a year of terrorizing jewelry stores all over, they were finally caught. Wild Wild West. This dramatic robbery unfolded at the Goldfield Ghost Town, a popular historic site near Apache Junction. 2 suspects were caught on camera inside the town's jewelry store, looking to make off with valuable pieces. The footage shows the pair moving quickly as they grab the goods, while customers and staff watch in disbelief. Authorities are now on the hunt for the thieves, but their escape remains a mystery. It's a shocking turn of events for a place known for its Old West charm, now facing the real-life danger of a heist. Bridal shop disaster. An unbelievable heist took place at a bridal store in Floral Park, Long Island, when a group of 3 thieves targeted the jewelry display. 2 women distracted the staff, engaging in conversation about tiaras, while the man took advantage of the situation. He walked up to the jewelry case, carefully selected a dozen bracelets, and stuffed them into his pockets without hesitation, circling back a few times before he was done. The entire robbery was captured on security cameras, showing how planned and calculated the crime was. Didn't cover his tracks. This insane jewelry heist took place at Cope Jewelers in Nottingham. 2 masked individuals stormed into the store, one wielding a hammer, smashing glass display cases, and stealing luxury watches valued at over $130,000, including high-end brands like Rolex and Tudor. Amid the chaos, an elderly customer was shoved, and the store owner was cornered. The duo attempted a previous robbery in Long Eaton, but was unsuccessful before fleeing both scenes on a distinctive black motorcycle with blue forks. Investigations led police right to the culprit, Luke Bowden, 29, of New Basford. Cold, calculated heist. These 4 intruders broke into White Rock Jewelers in Surrey and made off with approximately $100,000 worth of merchandise, including rings, bracelets, and pendants. The family-owned store suffered significant physical damage, including broken windows and doors, adding another $50,000 to the losses. The family had struggled to secure insurance for the store, leaving them uninsured for the event. The robbery took place around 4:20 a.m., and Mounties responded swiftly with a dog team, but the suspects had already fled in a dark-colored SUV. They were never found. Hidden in plain sight. A well-planned heist took place at Gold by Jewelry in Novi, where thieves managed to steal $20,000 worth of diamonds and rings. The couple entered the store and began interacting with the employee, asking for items that blocked the employee's line of sight. Within moments, 3 additional thieves joined, distracting the clerk while one of them slid open a jewelry display case. In just 10 minutes, the thieves grabbed a full tray of diamond rings. The heist was so fast and smooth that it wasn't immediately noticed. It wasn't until later, when the store was closing, that the owner discovered the missing tray. The thieves left the store without anyone realizing what had happened until much later, and the parking lot footage doesn't show if they left in a car. They came in, got what they needed, and vanished into thin air. What was your favorite footage? Comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time. Goodbye.